All right, question 11, getting on to the short response here. We've got to solve this inequality below, and that's it. It doesn't ask us to graph it or interval notate it, but we might as well, I might just throw that in there at the end just to see. 4x plus 2 less than or equal to 6x minus 8. Asking to be solving it is about as quick as it goes. I already have it copied. Let's just rip right through this one, get it done. So here, let's start by distributing the 4 into that set of parentheses before we start getting the x's all onto one side. So 4x plus 2, I end up with 4x plus 8 is less than or equal to 6x minus 8. And I'm going to move all the x's onto that side. I know I like having x's on the left, but I like having positives even more. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. That way I get all the x's onto one side. I'm left with 8 is less than or equal to 2x minus 8. And from there, now I can start getting the x alone. I got to add 8 to both sides, plus 8, because that's the inverse. That's how I'll cancel that over there. That cancels. I'm left with 8 plus 8 is 16, less than or equal to 2x. And I'll divide both sides by 2 to get the 16 all alone. Sorry, to get the x all alone. 16 divided by the 2 will get me, ultimately, 8 is less than or equal to x. And if I want to flippy-floppy just to get the x first, to get the x on the left, I can go ahead and do that. Either of these answers will do. They didn't ask to graph or to interval notate, but let's just do that really quickly. If I were to graph this, I'd create my number line, throw 8 onto my number line. I flip-flop so I have x first. I get to follow that. It makes it easier. I'll put a closed circle on 8 because it's greater than or equal to. That tells me to close it. And since I've got my variable first, I can follow this arrow. It's pointing to the right. So I'll get to color it in to the right. And then this way, I can see really easily, oh, my interval notation would be the furthest left I can go is 8. So I'll have 8 as my lower bound. The furthest to the right that I can go, it goes to the arrow, which means it goes all the way up to infinity. 8 is colored in, so I'll put a square bracket. Infinity always has a parentheses. So that is not only the solution, but the graph and the interval notation. Even though they didn't ask for it, I think it's worthwhile doing. So that is it. Here would be your correct answer for that question.